guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm starting off with some concealer. Well, this is actually the Maybelline Superstay foundation because it's such a good foundation. It's got very high coverage, but it's very dry. So I'm going to add some of the Ardell concealer just to moisten it up a bit so it's not so dry, and also to warm it up a bit because I'm going for a nice warm black smoked out eyeliner. And just to make sure that you blend that in, that you blend it out really well so that you don't have too much product on your lids, because that can also be a bad thing because everything will start caking and your eyeshadows will look cracky and lumpy. So just make sure that you blend out really nice. As you can see, I'm using my sponge just to get that excess product off my lids. Forgive me guys if I'm sounding dodge, I'm super tired. So I'm going in with the Makeup Revolution palette. I love this palette. It's so nice and warm. I'm starting off with that shade you saw me using. I did add a little bit of that like Morbi shade, but you don't have to. Just starting off with a lighter shade as a transitional shade, and make sure you pull it out past your eyes, your eyebrows, sorry. And as you can see, I'm kind of just keeping the eyeshadow in like an angle. I'm not taking it all the way into my crease. I'm just gonna keep it like a wing kind of shape, but like a bigger type of wing, if I'm explaining. Sorry, I realized I didn't have concealer, that's why you saw me putting some more concealer. Just make sure you have enough concealer past your eyes, because you're going to take the eyeshadow right past there. Okay, so I went in with another shade, sorry, the same shade, I think, just to darken it a bit, and just keep tapping the product on. When I put on the eyeshadow, I like to tap and then blend so that you get nice a good amount of pigment from the product. Okay, I think at this point I'm blabbing you guys, I'm so tired. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the next shade in the palette. It's the darker shade, a darker brown, and we're going to place that shade just underneath the transitional shade, so that we have a nice blown out look. We have a nice like gradient, and that's the purpose of using transitional shades. What's wrong with me? You know, so that you have a nice transition into all the different colors that you are going to use. And I'm going back in with the first shade. I'm not putting any more product. I'm going in with the brush that I used, that one, and blending it out. And then I'm going in with the black from this palette. I'm going to put it on the lower part of my lid, again keeping everything at an angle and keeping it just below that brown shade, so that we have like this nice beautiful wing. And if your product goes past your eye, don't worry, we're still gonna clean it up. Do you see how nice and clean up it is? But as the camera stopped recording, so that's why I'm now showing you guys my other eye. So we're still going to clean it up with concealer. And I was holding up my Urban Decay palette, you guys, and instead of me going in with the black from the Makeup Revolution palette, I ended up going in with the dark shade from the Urban Decay palette, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's why this one looks so much more darker than the other eye, but I am going to fix it a bit. And remember guys, to also take the product past your brow with all the colors, but make sure you start, when you putting the product, make sure you start in the lid and drag the product out, because you don't want to have a heavy amount of product on the outer part of your eye. You just kind of want it to, you kind of want to blend out, if I'm making any sense, you guys. So yeah, I'm just adding, just deepening that black a bit, because I went ham on that eye. And even my blending on this eye, it went a bit more than I, like over the lid, more than I wanted. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm like stumbling for words. It's tiredness, guys. Like, I'm up all day, all night. So I feel like I can't even speak. So now I'm just blending. I'm taking that shade with that brownish shade, and I'm just kind of dragging it a little bit over that black, just to kind of lighten it a bit. You don't have to. Then I'm going in with the first brush just to blend everything together, because we want this look to be blended really well. And I really love this look. So I'm going in with some concealer. This is the one from Ardell, and I'm just sharpening my wing. That's why I said even if you went a little bit over and you went past your brow, I mean your eyes, and you brought it down, we're always going to, you can always clean it up. So don't stress if you kind of just, when you are blending, you went ham. Just make it sharp, and also pull the concealer down towards your cheek so that when you're applying your other concealers and your foundations, you don't interfere with that part of your face, so that you know you don't mess it up and put foundation over it. Yeah, and also guys, I'm sorry about the lighting. I look so horrible, and my skin looks so horrible. It actually looks worse than what it is. My skin lately is going through the most. But yeah, it actually looks worse on camera, you guys. I'm using the Ardell glue, you guys. A lot of people don't like this glue, but I actually love this glue, because they find the consistency is too thin or runny, or they find that it takes long to dry. But with me, I don't have that problem, because you really just need a thin layer of this glue, and it's lasted me such a long time. If it's taking long to dry, then you've just put too much of the product onto the lash line, and you really don't need much product with this one. And I like it because of the elasticity. I don't have to worry about my pulling out any lashes. I'm going in with the Ardell Glow. I did moisturize and prime before, you guys, so sorry about that. Just to give me a bit of a glow underneath my foundation. And I'm just taking my brush and I'm blending it out. I don't know why I don't do very well with voiceovers, you guys. I don't know why. What is it with voiceovers? I'm just gonna do my cheeks, the high points of my cheeks, my forehead, my chin, but you can even do your entire face with this highlight. It's not gonna matter. I'm taking some powder, you guys, some pressed powder, and I'm putting it into my creases, just a little bit, not like I'm powdering my face. So because I was actually planning to use another foundation that's very runny, and it tends to just get into those creases and it just looks funny. But I'm using the Yardley London, and I didn't really have to do that step. So yeah, I actually did a review on this on this foundation, you guys, and I used a sponge when I did the review. But this time, like in this video, I used the brush, and I find it works so much better with the brush. It gives you so much more pigment coverage. I'm saying pigment for everything, but it's the same difference. It gives you, it's got such good coverage. Like, I really like this foundation, and it's so lightweight at the same time. And even though it is matte, it's not like the drying matte like the Maybelline one. It's just a nice soft matte that doesn't make your skin feel uncomfortable, because I don't have oily skin, but yet I can still wear this foundation. And because my skin's not oily, you guys, it literally lasts me all day. But yeah, when you're blending, guys, just always make stippling motions. I'm blabbing, I'm not even explaining to y'all. Yeah, and I'm just using the sponge just to remove any of if there's any excess product, and to also blend it out. You can blend it out if you had streaks with your brush, but just make sure when you're blending, you're using stipple motions. When you're applying the product, you can drag your brush, but just kind of like make stippling motions, like you're dabbing the brush onto your face. Even with the sponge, I'm being very, very light-handed, because I just want to blend the product, because I didn't put too much on my face. And look at that, you guys, I love this foundation. Oh my gosh. So I'm going with some concealer from Ardell. As you can see with me, I don't like a concealer that's too light. I always go like 1 or 2 shades lighter than my actual foundation shade. I'm just not that girl that's gonna go 4 shades lighter. Like, you know, I can't deal with that. Yeah, and this is just gonna, remember, this is also gonna give your face dimension. It's gonna bring everything forward. So you want to be really strategic about where you place your concealer. As you can see, I'm putting it in a triangular shape, and I'm bringing it down to make my face longer. And even on my chin, I'm not taking it out of my chin. If you find you have like your chin is too sharp, then you can take the product like just out of your chin area so that your chin looks wider. It just depends on the shape of face that you have and the shape that you want to go for. For me, my face is like roundish, so not very round, but it is round, so I just want to give it more length, and that's why I do it this way. And even with the concealer, I keep it in that place. I don't take it past my brow. And I mean, even if you do, you can always go over it with bronzer anyway, but I just keep it in that, you know, what am I saying, in the center of my face. I don't like do it all the way to my forehead area. And even when you're blending, guys, make sure that you're blending within the area, that you're not taking it out of, you know, of where you need it to be, because then it's also going to widen your face. I'm just going to lighten it a little bit more with this Revlon concealer, because it did blend into the foundation like a lot, so I felt like let me just brighten it up a little bit with this one, and that also gives a very nice effect when you brighten just the inner parts of your eyes. But now I'm just gonna blend it out to brighten the areas that I concealed. You guys, I don't know what's happening to me today, really. And yeah, I always do my nose last, you guys, because it really makes your nose look snatched when you're contouring. So my nose lately, I always do my nose last. I blend it out last, and you're gonna see why. I'm using a concealer brush to blend it out. Do you see how it's already lifted up my nose? You can leave it at this point, but because I'm not going for that look, I'm gonna blend it out more. I just wanted to show you guys, like, look how it's already lifted my nose up. And yeah, but I want a more softer look today, so I'm gonna blend it out. I'm going in with the sponge as well to blend it out, and then I'm going to be using this Essence mattifying compact powder to just set the concealer before it starts creasing under my eyes especially. I always do that first. I'm going over all the parts that you concealed. We're going to use this powder to just kind of go over everything. I like to go in with a pressed powder first before I do the loose powder. It just gives me a better look, especially if I'm going to use this Essence powder, because if I don't, it just kind of exaggerates my pores. For me, it does that. I'm not sure if it does it for y'all. And when you're doing your powders, when you're baking, you guys, also make sure that you keep the powder within the same form that you did your concealer, because remember, it's going to brighten up those areas. And if you just blast it everywhere, you know, because it's going to brighten your concealers, it's going to brighten your foundation is going to brighten up in those areas. So make sure that you keep the powder in the areas that you concealed, and keeping the same form or shape so that it does what you want it to do. Don't just put it on your entire face and start baking. Like, keep it in that form. All right, so it just brightens where it needs to brighten. I went under my eyes with the two lash shades that I used, the brown and the black. Sorry you guys, this camera lately, or is it my space? Yeah, I think it's my space, and it just went off. It goes off when I run out of space. So now I'm just going in with the Scarlett Heal products, you guys. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't recording. I did some product shots, but unfortunately, I don't know, the end part, I think, again, my camera must have went off. So I'm just going in with some bronzer. This is from Scarlett Heal, which you can purchase from Mr. Price, and I just love how nice and warm this bronzer is, you guys. I'm loving it. I don't really use a contour shade, but what I do is I go in again with just the deeper brown, because I mix the two shades together, and then I use this brush just to deepen it, like in the areas that I really want to deepen it, because this brush is a thinner brush, whereas the other brush is a wider brush, so it's gonna, you know, it's all about placement. But anyway, yeah, this is just gonna make you look more snatched. Okay, so now I'm doing my my nose area. I'm doing my nose area. Sorry, someone was at the door. I'm doing my nose area. With my nose, you guys, I don't like to make it too thin, because I find that it's a bit like it looks unnatural, you know. So I don't make it too thin, and I take it up to my brow, those like the top part of your nose where your nose and your brow meets. I also add product there. It also makes it look so nice. I could have went a little bit thinner. I think I actually did, but yeah, I just find it looks more natural. Look how snatched it's looking, y'all. And then I went in with my powder brush just to blend it out more, because like I said, I just want a more softer look. But I'm really perfecting my nose contour game to the way that I like it, you guys. I don't know about y'all, but yeah, I don't really going with like contouring shades on my cheeks and stuff, because I find that they make me look muddy. I'm just highlighting my face, my cheekbones, my chin, my forehead, my nose area. This is also from Scarlett Hill Beauty. All the products that I use next are from Scarlett Beauty, from the same palettes, from that bronzing palette. My chin and my forehead, but if you don't like doing your forehead, just do your cheeks or your chin or your nose or wherever where you want a bit of highlight. And I like this one because it's a nice soft highlight, you know. I don't like something that's going to be too dramatic. It looks so natural. And yeah, I'm using a thinner brush for my nose because obviously you want to keep it, you don't want to take it. What's wrong with me, guys? Sorry. Yeah, but that's it. I use this brush just to blend everything together, and then I usually spray, but again today I didn't kind of set my face. But yeah, that's it. That is it, you guys.